Jeff Bezos and Travis Hunter do not have those boundaries. And because of that, they will pay dearly in the next few years. Any amount of money you guys want to come up with, I guarantee you he will either be unfaithful or he will be leaving her in the next couple years because of what's going on. The safest neighborhoods in America, people own guns in their homes and there's fences around the houses. When you have clear boundaries, everyone functions better. If what a woman wants is not a weak man or a strong man as much as she wants a man she cannot manipulate because he has strong boundaries that he understands. And those boundaries make her be better to him.
Change the locks.
Be better to her and make him be better to himself.
There was this single mother of 3 with 2 baby daddies, and she was 55 years old, and I think she just married the richest man in the world, or the second richest man in the world. So,
and I think they ripped it out.
I think the men with real money don't care.
I think it is getting worse. Like the Travis Hunter. Have you ever heard of that situation?
Yeah. I think one baby daddy. I don't think she has 3 baby daddies. That's emotional trauma, and that's a man who's unhealed and is trying to work through his trauma of his girlfriend who cheated on him by marrying her. That's what essentially he's done, and not getting a prenup. That is madness. Let me explain something. Let me explain a concept to you ladies, and then I'm going to explain the concept to the guys who are watching this. The safest neighborhoods in America, people own guns in their homes and there's fences around the houses. When you have clear boundaries, everyone functions better. If what a woman wants is not a weak man or a strong man as much as she wants a man she cannot manipulate because he has strong boundaries that he understands. And those boundaries make her be better to him.
Change the locks.
Be better to her and make him be better to himself. Jeff Bezos and Travis Hunter do not have those boundaries. And because of that, they will pay dearly in the next few years. Any amount of money you guys want to come up with, I guarantee you he will either be unfaithful or he will be leaving her in the next couple years because of what's going on. The other thing I want to talk about is having a group of friends that will tell you you're a fucking idiot. Most of you don't have that.
And nobody's going to tell Bezos that.
Every week when I go on the sales meeting, what is the first thing I say, Tristan?
Oh, what did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong this week? What did I do to make your life harder? Everyone in my company knows they can tell me when I'm a fucking idiot. And because of that, in fact, I have 2 other executives in my company, and whenever I want to do something, I have to convince the 2 of them before we take any action. I never act unilaterally. Why is that I do that? Because I am fully aware of that I have blind spots and I don't know what I don't know. Jeff Bezos, and it's going to sound arrogant, Jeff Bezos doesn't have a friend like me. And because a friend like me would tell him, bro, keep her on the side. You are not marrying this woman because it makes you're a target, not only for this, but when she cheats on you and takes half, you're a target for the next woman. Does that make sense? It's like Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, because he's so fucking stupid that he traded away Luka Doncic. Every other GM in the league is like, I can't lose a trade to Nico Harrison. I'm going to look like a moron. Every woman from this point forward that dates Travis Hunter is going to know, got him. He's a sucker. That's how they're all going to feel. Why is that? Because he didn't have a homie to tell him he's a idiot. That's the reason why. So I know guys, like one of the reasons
when a guy's a sucker and it's that public, how does a guy like that even recover? It feels like it's unrecoverable.
He recovered. He's got $280 billion. How recovers? He surrounded himself with yes people. Does that make sense? That's the reason why this doesn't work. I need people. That's why I go back to Dallas, Texas, and see my friends who I went to high school with who tell me when I'm doing something stupid. And that's what I appreciate. The emperor has no clothes. And guys like this in that situation don't. Travis Hunter doesn't have a friend like this. And neither does Jeff Bezos. So you got to ask yourself, if you're a guy out there watching this and you make $130,000 a year, do you have a friend to tell you you're being stupid when you're thinking about dating that woman who has the 3 kids and wants the 3 cars and wants you to make $130K? Do you have a friend of yours who can tell you when you're being stupid? My friends would tell me all the time, if I'm in a relationship she does and some disrespectful, my friends would come tell me, Michael, you're doing something stupid. And I would never shun them. I would always listen to them. It doesn't mean I'm always going to act. I still have my own agency. But if you don't have guy friends who, this is the reason why men have the locker room talk when we play sports.
We have Warzone.
Yeah, why we have Warzone. When we play sports as growing up, what do? We call each other names. We slap each other with towels. We do all this weird to one another. We make fun of each other. In the military, if you fall asleep on a KC-135 in the cockpit, we will draw dick on your face all night, take a picture of you and send it to your wife. Why is that we do that? We do that because we know in order to have a true friend will tell you you're an idiot. A true friend will tell you you're an idiot. Jeff Bezos does not have a true friend. Yep. That's what I know from watching that.
I think most guys don't actually have good enough friends around them like that. Like most guys got to get into some sort of community, like join Men of Action or join the School of Unplugging to get guys around them who actually call them out on this shit and not let them fall down these holes.
Would you like a history lesson? In ancient Rome, that's why the Senate required all of the Caesars and the emperors to have a doomsayer, to have a memento mori. Remember, you will die. There's always they were required to have that guy say, "Don't get too big of a head. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get such a big ego that you think you're God, right? You're going to die just like anybody else." And it's basically bringing your ego back down to size so that you never like sort of outgrow, you know, your humanity. Speaking of which,
married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to like entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and, you know, things changing, you know, honestly, it's like I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married.
Okay. So everybody know, anyone who doesn't know who that is, raise your hand if you do not know who that is.
Brittney Renner.
Okay. So that's Brittney Renner. Brittney Renner is the baby's mother of PJ Washington. He plays power forward for the Dallas Mavericks. He's one. I love the guy.
Stepdaddy season.
Yeah. And after she did so, she was older than PJ Washington. I believe he was 19 when he came into the league. She basically wrote a book kind of explaining how she tricked him into getting her pregnant. Does that make sense? Then afterwards, one of the funniest things happened is Deion Sanders, who was the head coach of Jackson State, now he's the head coach of Colorado, had Brittney Renner come and explain to all the players on the team, this is how women target you so that they can get you. And she because she is a narcissist, she had no problem whatsoever expressing, yes, I target men to get me pregnant so that I can get that back. And now Kevin Gates, who says some weird shit to begin with, love him as an artist, but he says some weird shit, married Brittney Renner. Of course, this is the same situation. Wow, Kevin Gates doesn't have a homie like me to tell him he's a fucking moron. That's the problem. And so because of that, they got married. And now I promise you, there's no way they got married with a prenup. Brittney Renner's not getting married with a prenup. Brittney Renner is getting another bag. She literally makes her living by getting rappers and fucking athletes to marry her. That's how she makes, because
they're married?
Huh? Yeah.
I want to know if
That's
it's
so
actually
embarrassing.
been proven that they legally got married, because isn't he legally married to Drakia?
I don't know. I really don't know. And also in Islam, there's you can be married to 4 women at once. So.
I don't know about the Islam part, but I think in the United States, we can call that an annulment and they wouldn't have to worry about it.
She's not going to allow for an annulment because she doesn't get paid, dude.
I know she's not.
She did not waste her time.
Yeah,
okay,
Brittney.
But if the guy was smart, he would get an annulment.
She became Muslim just to get
a woman who wrote a book about getting pregnant with the intention of taking a rich man's money just said most people don't get married with the intention of getting divorced. She did. That's exactly what she
wrote
did.
a book about it.
That's exactly what she did. And the thing is, when I had a Ryan Teraband on, one of the things I asked him, I was like, bro, why are there so many beta men, like powerful men? We talk about Jeff Bezos, we talk about Travis Hunter. Why is this happening so often where these men who are in positions of power are acting like this way? And you know what I think it is? I think it's the compromise that they have to make to get into that position of power. It's like you have to do the woke thing to run the Fortune 500 company. You have to do the woke thing to get the McDonald's advertisement, the Mercedes advertisement. You have to do the woke thing to be able to star in Guardians of the Galaxy 6. You have to do the woke thing in order to be the professional wrestler, the whatever. You can't be the MAGA supporter. And so because of that, I think that's where we're getting into this place where you see just so much weird behavior from these men who command so much power, respect, and money, and they still act this way. It's absolute madness.
What I will say about Kevin, not to get like religious or spiritual, Kevin is very open about him doing witchcraft. That's a rabbit
what is that?
hole.
What is that though? That is no homies telling you you're dumb.
Yes.
There's no. There needs to be a homie saying you're stupid.
I agree.
Men don't like to hear that though.
Grown man in his life explaining to him he's being stupid, and he doesn't have that. And that's this is what homieless men look like. This is Travis Hunter, Kevin Gates, Jeff Bezos, Logan Paul, Will Smith. Will Smith. This is what Will Smith does not have a homie saying, bro, Jada Pinkett Smith is just all she's doing is biting your style, bro. She basically is leeching your fame to garner any relevance.
Oh, she's so
Nobody would be watching her Red Table show if she wasn't married to Will Smith. She was a C-list actress in the 90s and the early 2000s. She is irrelevant now.